This is a crushed soda can mounted on a piece of scrap wood. What if I told you we could sell it for $1,000? This is a bundle of discarded newspapers tied together with a zip tie. It could be yours for $500. And this is a single used work boot splattered with paint and filled with concrete. We could probably sell it for $5,000 to a man who owns a private jet. We wanted to see if the super wealthy would buy literal, actual garbage if it was branded as exclusive, high-concept art. Now, while the experiment I'm about to describe is a satirical thought experiment, it ended up exposing a shocking truth about the culture of extreme wealth, the psychology of status, and the almost terrifying power of a brand name. So, what would happen if we actually tried to trick billionaires into buying garbage? The whole idea kicks off with a simple question. What makes something valuable? Is it the quality, the skill that went into it, or just how it looks? Or is it something else? Is it the story, the rarity, the feeling it gives you? For a lot of people, luxury goods are all about status. They're visual markers that scream success and taste. You've probably heard about the stunt Payless pulled. They created a fake luxury brand called Palessi, rented a space that used to be an Armani store and sold their normal $20 shoes to fashion influencers for over $600. The influencers couldn't stop talking about the high-quality materials and sophisticated design, proving that what you perceive can be way more powerful than what's real. But we wanted to push that idea even further, not just rebranding something cheap as luxury, but trying to sell something with absolutely zero real value. Something that, by any sane measure, is completely worthless. Our hypothesis was that for a certain kind of buyer, the object itself doesn't really matter. What they're buying isn't a product, it's a story. They're buying a feeling of belonging to an elite club and the thrill of having something no one else can. They're buying a symbol that proves they've made it. So, we set out to design the most exclusive, most sought-after, and most worthless luxury brand on Earth. To pull this off, we wouldn't just need trash, we'd need a story, a legend. We'd invent a fictional artist, a mysterious and reclusive figure we'll call Anonimo. The story would be that Anonimo is a radical artist who critiques consumer culture by turning society's leftovers into profound statements. He'd be a ghost. No social media, no interviews, no photos. His work would only be available through a secret art collective, and that collective would be us. We'd call our brand Caelus, a Latin word for the sky, chosen because it sounds vague, sophisticated, and a little bit pretentious. We'd build a slick, minimalist website with just our logo, a cryptic quote about value, and a contact form for discerning collectors. The branding is everything. It has to scream exclusive and intellectual. Next, the products, or as we'd call them, the works. We'd spend a week picking up garbage, but not just any garbage. We'd look for pieces with a certain vibe. A beautifully rusted piece of metal, a tangled knot of colorful wires, a single paint-splattered work boot that looks like it has a story. Each piece would be cleaned up just enough, mounted on a block of wood or a plinth and given a fancy title. The crushed can becomes Urban Still Life No. 7, the tangled wires, digital deconstruction, the boot filled with concrete, the weight of labor. The final piece of the puzzle would be the setting. We'd rent a small, white-walled art gallery in a rich neighborhood. No advertising. Instead, we'd send personalized, embossed invitations to a hand-picked list of art collectors and wealthy individuals, inviting them to a private, one-night-only viewing. The invitation would say all works are price on request, a classic move to signal that if you have to ask, you probably can't afford it. The trap would be set. You can just imagine how the night of the event would go. At first, we'd be nervous no one would show up, but then, the first guests would arrive. A man in a suit that costs more than my car, with a partner wearing expensive, understated jewelry. They'd walk through the gallery speaking in hushed tones. The man would stop in front of Urban Still Life No. 7, the crushed can. He'd squint at it, stroking his chin.
There's a fascinating commentary here on the disposable nature of mass production. The can, a symbol of global commerce, is crushed, discarded, yet elevated. Anonimo is forcing us to confront the beauty in what we throw away.
My partner, playing the gallery director, would approach.
Anonimo believes that value is a social construct. This piece challenges us to find worth where society sees none.
The man would nod like he's just heard a profound truth.
$1,000, I'll take it.
The night would continue like this. A young tech bro, fresh off an IPO, would be drawn to a piece called Fossilized Data, just a smashed-up old hard drive glued to a rock.
It represents the physical death of our digital lives.
He'd pay $2,500 for it. The most surreal moment would come with the weight of labor, the concrete-filled boot. A woman who flew in on her family's private jet for a shopping weekend would be mesmerized.
The boot, a traditionally masculine symbol, is rendered immobile. It speaks to the glass ceiling, how women's progress is halted by patriarchal industry. It's profoundly moving.
$7,000?
Her assistant would immediately get on the phone to arrange the payment. All night we'd hear the same kind of thing. People weren't just buying our trash, they were buying a story that made them feel smart and sophisticated. They were buying a narrative they could trot out at their next dinner party, a symbol confirming their identity as people who get it. By the end of the night, we would have sold over $40,000 worth of actual garbage. So what would this all mean? This thought experiment proves that in the world of extreme wealth, an item's value is almost completely detached from what it's made of or what it does. Our hypothetical buyers weren't acting irrationally, they were just playing by a different set of rules. They were engaging in what sociologists call symbolic self-completion. The art isn't for their living room wall, it's for their identity. Owning a piece by Anonimo isn't about how it looks, it's about signaling their high-status place in the cultural food chain. This taps right into the scarcity principle. Because Anonimo is a total myth, his work is infinitely rare. The more mysterious and exclusive we'd make the brand, the more people would want it. The high price tags didn't scare our buyers away. They were a feature, not a bug. The price is a barrier that keeps the club exclusive. In these circles, if everyone can have it, nobody wants it. And this isn't just about art. This exact psychology drives a huge part of the luxury market, where people pay for the story and the sense of belonging that comes with a brand name. Just like the influencers who believed Payless shoes were high-end because of the fancy store, our buyers would be convinced our garbage was profound art because of the context we built. We'd create a believable illusion, and they'd buy it hook, line, and sinker because it validated their own sense of self as not just rich but culturally superior. Our little thought experiment starts as a prank but ends with a sobering look at how value and status actually work. It shows that with the right story and the right brand, you can sell just about anything to anyone as long as it makes them feel special. It reveals that luxury is often just a language of exclusion, a carefully staged performance. It really makes you wonder, where else in our lives are we buying the story instead of the substance? What do you think this says about our society's obsession with brands? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more deep dives that peel back the curtain on how the world really works, make sure to subscribe.